Today, we're going to be discussing the solution architect role, and I'm going to be having Alev Tamer with me, who herself is a solution architect at Microsoft. So, Aleph is going to be walking us through what the solution architect role is all about, the responsibilities of a solution architect, and what our day to day looks like as a solution architect. So, if you'd like to also learn about other roles at Microsoft, I have a playlist somewhere up here, so be sure to check it out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do because there's more of those content to come. All right, so let's delve right in. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be discussing the solution architect role, and I have Alev with me to help us understand more about the solution architect role. Hi, Alev. Welcome to the Tech Talk Show.
Hi, Kazeem. How are you? Thank you very much for having me in your call today.
Yes,
Finally,
Alev.
after months.
Exactly. We've been trying to do this for a very long time. So it's good to finally have you on. All
Yes,
right,
it's
Alex.
finally good to be here.
Yes, yes. So how about we start with an introduction, Aleph? Who is Aleph and what do you do for a living?
So, Alev is a Turkish girl who moved to the UK 2 years ago, right after the pandemic, or in between the lockdowns, let's say. I born and raised in Turkey, and I graduated from computer engineering from top economy and technical university. And then I joined my professional career as system administrator. So I was taking care of all the Microsoft related technologies and some other big companies. But the moment that I start working with the Microsoft product, my big dream was joining Microsoft someday. So I continue to learn more about the technical depth. So I was troubleshooting, I was learning new things, I was not limiting myself with a set of product, and I really discovered most of the Microsoft products, which we are now using as our daily productivity tools. And then I joined Microsoft 7.5 years ago in Turkey. And now I am working, I joined as Premier Field Engineer, and then I became consultant. And now I am a solution architect aligned with financial sector industry in the UK. And I'm really happy that I'm joined to Microsoft UK.
Yes, you can say that again, Aleph. So,
I do love my job.
in the past, I've had someone on the show. We discussed the solution designer role. But today we're switching gears just a little to talk about solution architect, right? So let's kick things off with the role itself, solution architect, right? So what does one playing the solution architect role do?
So I am working in industry solutions delivery organization in Microsoft, which was called Microsoft Consulting Services before. So we recently had to go through a really huge reorg. So before that, we had something called domain. So we had like Azure Cloud and AI, we had modern work, and we had BizApps. Now we realized that our most important thing to become a solution architect in Microsoft Cloud. This is why we are now aligned with the industries. So the solution architect should understand the industry, customer, partner environment, different business requirements, pain points, improvement points from customer to provide an architecture or a custom experience so they can have their own product they can get the most out of their Microsoft investments. So think about like buying a product is something, but if you have the great experience with it, you'll just keep enjoying and you'll have a more productive day. So I do really care about my customers and I'm a people person. So, and I do believe if you can understand people, you can basically do anything. So this is my experience with being a solution architect.
Okay, I guess everybody at Microsoft are people's person, right?
Yeah, or trying to be one. So the change is not that easy because it keeps you being in your comfort zone, and sometimes you're going in between your learning and panic zone. So it's very I do believe in Microsoft values and missions, and when I hear Satya talking about that, he really means it because I think he's an empath and he understands how people should work with each other as a team. And this is what I love the most because in a project, you're working as a team. You have consultants, you have project managers, you have different peoples that you're working on a daily basis. And if you do care about them, I think that's the most important thing for team success. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yes, I've had to interact with a lot of Microsoft people, so I get that all the time. Microsoft is people's focused, and also as a Microsoft MVP as well. So we get to hear a lot of that, and Microsoft does really listen to the customers. From me, I expect that from every Microsoft employee. So just hearing about you reiterating the same fact again.
Yes, and it's the most important for me is to listen. So sometimes people are like, "You're not talking at all." I'm like, "I'm listening. I need to understand what they exactly need so I can just provide a solution to them." And I realize I am doing that in my personal life. So if someone just shares something with me, I'm just trying to provide a solution because this is what I do. They're like,
Okay, all right, Alev. So we digress just a little bit. So getting back to the topic now,
yeah.
there are other related roles, right, to solution architect. We have roles like enterprise architect, a
Mhm.
software architect. I'm not sure if all of these roles are present at Microsoft, so you need to let me know. But I believe you understand those roles, right? The enterprise architect, the solution architect. So what's the difference between these two roles?
So enterprise architect should usually work to larger scale and breadth of both legacy and bleeding edge on a global scale, needs to know about the network topology, the overall IT environment or like the IT world to, for example, compute data centers sustainable and the things like that. And also there are like software architects, which we don't have in our industry solutions delivery organization, but Microsoft is a product company. So I've heard a little bit about that. They are typically focused on development, life cycle, operational life cycle, user experience, release management, business strategy. So that they are sit in the different side of the organization. But we always need architectures in our lives.
People interested in becoming a solution architect, how can they be one? What are the prerequisites? What do they need to do to become a solution architect? Just like you are, Aleph.
That's a very good question. Thank you very much for asking me. We have actually different type of solution architecture in our part as well. Sometimes we have like delivery architects who are leading the deliveries, working directly face to face with customers. And what I do enjoy more is the pre-sales because this is where the fun begins. This is where you get the most understanding of their business needs. So in the previous years, I was mostly talking with CIOs or CTOs, and now we are now trying to talk with the business lines, because to the customers where they will see the most value, they would like to improve, transform, and innovate that part of the business. So if someone wants to become a solution architect, they need to be able to talk in their business language. So within the recent changes, if they would like to work as a solution architect in industry solutions delivery, they need to be able to have an understanding over the industries. So in the UK, we have enterprise commercial, we have public sector, and we have the financial sector industry. But also so before that reorganization, I was working in with a healthcare customer, and I was like in the middle of the night just researching about what they do, what they want to achieve, what is their vision, how can we contribute to their mission so they can look cool, because that's one of the things that Satya always mention. If you want to join Microsoft, you want to make other people look cool, not yourself. And I am a really strong believer for that.
I'm curious, Alev. To be a solution architect at Microsoft, does it mean you also need to back it up with certifications, or
Yes,
what-
definitely. So there is no exact definition of what you can do or which technology that you should be seen as an expert. So my technical background was mostly unified communications, and then it became Teams. Then it became Microsoft 365, and now it's Microsoft Cloud. So yes, actually in Microsoft, you need to have at least two technical certification as like a goal throughout the year, but you can choose and you can extend that to any of the technologies. So I had my Teams expert administration certification, but now I am thinking about learning more about data science and AI or machine learning. And Microsoft is providing all of the resources to you so you can achieve more.
So let's talk about some of the cons of you playing the role of a solution architect now. Or perhaps should I say some things, right, that you don't like a lot about what you do, about your job as a solution architect. Do you want to share some of those?
It's not about the cons, it's about what you can improve more in yourself. Like myself, I am sometimes not very good with saying no to people. And then I end up having lots and lots of work and long business hours throughout the months. um, you need to be sometimes able to say no to people. So that's what I can see as a challenge for me. And you need to be able to manage your time in a most effective manners. So these are the two important things. And never stop learning. Think about just trying to keep up with all of the Microsoft technologies, recent changes, and like what is in the roadmap, these kind of things. And we are also directly facing with customers, and sometimes it's very, for me at least, it feels a little bit hard if they are expecting something, let's say in the roadmap, and if they cannot get it in that time, you need to be able to tell them it's been delayed. I'm sorry. Even if it's not our responsibility, sometimes, yeah, it's a bit hard. Not a con, but it's a challenge. Yes, sometimes you're being asked and challenged by that kind of requests that you need to be able to um, make them understand what you are trying to achieve is not possible, but we'll be doing our best and able to provide you that service. So recently I've been hearing like, we are the best of the best. We can do anything. Nothing is impossible. I'm like, yes.
So let's try to wrap up now, Aleph, with what your daily routine looks like. As a solution architect working for Microsoft. What does your day to day? What does it look like? You care to share?
Recently, it's most likely back-to-back calls with our customers, with our internals, different stakeholders, because one of the solution architects' most important job is being able to be that connective tissue in between different Microsoft organizations. And believe me, it's not that easy, but I do love talking to people, doing networking. So it's just, this is how I keep myself positive. Um, what a solution architect does is our big mission is understand what customer wants, prioritize their asks, and by the end of that, either um, formates pre-sales, you should be able to produce some deliverables like statement of works, work breakdown structures. You need to be able to calculate what will be the cost for that project. And then you need to hand over to that to delivery team so they can do their best to deliver what has been envisioned and ideated during that pre-sales. So this is my day-to-day works. And
Yeah.
also, as a solution architect, you also need to be a leader to the people who are either newly onboarding to Microsoft, or who wants your opinion and who wants to learn from your experience. So I do coaching and mentorship calls at least 4 or 5 times a week. This is important. And the other is keeping very close with your manager and reporting line so they know, and be able to tell your story to them so they can actually go and cheer for you.
Okay. And by the way, is it also part of the requirement for you to know how to teach? Some people are so good at what they do, but they don't have that teaching qualities in them. They really don't know how to pass knowledge across to others. So is it part of part of those things that Microsoft will look out for to be a solution?
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes I've been pinged by different kind of roles in Microsoft, and they are asking like, what do you do? So this is what I want in my career path. Do you think it resonates with being a solution architect? And then you're guiding them through what they want to achieve by sharing your experience. And if you think that you're not the right person for their career development, you can always refer them to other persons so they can learn more about what they want to know. So when I ask, like when I'm working with my consultants, I do ask, what do you want to do? That's the most important thing, because if you have a person who is not feeling valuable in that particular project, they won't be having fun, or they won't be um, like working in the very effective way. Like bright and shiny. You need bright and shiny and more smiley people.
Thank you very much, Alev, for your time on today's episode. Is there any last word you'd like to share before we say bye bye?
Keep smiling. That's my motto. Sometimes I just ping people. If I seen them like frowning, I'm like, keep smiling. Smiling suits you.
So that brings us to the end of today's Day in the Live episode of the Tech Talk with me, Kazeem. So if you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. So I'll try to answer them as much as I can, the ones that I can answer. So I'll try my best to get Alev to answer them. So even though Alev can be so busy sometimes. So
Yeah, it's okay, but I do answer. And our organization calls MCAPS, and we are hiring globally. So
yeah,
just go through the careers@microsoft.com and see if do you have you want is there a role that you want to do?
if you like the video, also be sure to click on the like button, right, and subscribe and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So again, thank you very much, Alan, for hanging out
Thank
with me on
you.
today's
And yes, please
episode.
do subscribe.
Yes,
Kazeem is doing a great job.
thank you. So it's a lot of fun. So all right then. So it's a bye bye now from myself and
Bye
Aleph, and
bye.
I'll see
Take
you again
care.
next time. Bye
Bye.
bye.